All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour one of Jon and Jim. There's a lot to get into. It feels like that often happens on Padre off days. So we'll react to it all. We mentioned this during the Fusion, Jim. We have wonderfront tickets. It's a really cool concert event downtown on the water this weekend. If you want to win tickets to that, join us tomorrow at the Naughty Barrel. We'll be there from noon to 6. Darren Smith Show, Jon and Jim, Padres, Dodgers, like that to me is a great afternoon. So hopefully you can join us. Let's just start there. Join us tomorrow afternoon. We'll get into that more tomorrow. Padres, Dodgers, Kevin Acee on the show, 3-game weekend series, 70-degree weather. Like if you're looking for something to do this weekend, start your weekend with us. Naughty Barrel, 2 blocks from Petco Park.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Padres are playing good baseball. Dodgers are
playing great baseball.
They've won 7 games in a row. Shohei Ohtani's, hitting the cover off the baseball right now.
And just $2 million a year feels like a good value play.
It's almost as good as value as Jurickson Profar.
Who has better paid him twice as much? You're right.
Who has better value to their team? Jurickson Profar making $1 million or Shohei Ohtani making $2 million?
That's funny. And true.
So yeah, it's going to be a fun time. They have the barbecue pit tomorrow. They have happy hour from 4 to 6. Starting at noon with Darren and Marty. And then, of course, we're giving away wonderfront tickets every single hour. You need to be there to get those tickets. We're like 2 blocks away from Petco Park. The food is fantastic. The weather's going to be great, like you said, and it's Padres Dodgers. So downtown is the place to be tomorrow on a Friday for a Padres baseball game.
Now, first of all, I have never heard anyone ever get more out of the general manager of the Padres than Darren Smith. He routinely has an ability to do that. And if you missed the entire conversation, sportssd.com or iHeartRadio app, I thought it was super insightful, 20-plus minutes. Because oftentimes, and Darren's a master at doing it, he truly is, it can be hard to get information from AJ Preller. But I thought Darren caught him going, so to speak. And he started opening up on some things that maybe you wouldn't expect him to do. Now the Padres, to our collective points, have played better baseball here. Maybe AJ's in a better mood. They've won 6 of 8. They're back to 500. So there's a lot to react to from Darren's conversation with AJ. Before we do that, Tony Gwynn would have been 64 today, which is incredible. We'll get to see Luis Arraez, who's not Tony Gwynn, but a modern example of someone that uses all fields and is now a San Diego Padre, making his San Diego Padre debut at Petco tomorrow, which I think is super cool for Padres fans. But today would have been Tony Gwynn's 64th birthday, remarkably.
Yeah, and the whole comparison with Luis Arraez.
Not a comparison, but he's a great modern hitter.
He's a guy.
He's not Tony Gwynn.
He's not Tony Gwynn. He's a guy that it's in a sport that what Tony did better than anybody.
Yeah,
it's a lost art, and Luis Arraez does something that is considered a lost art in baseball.
I think it's more of a lost art today, right?
Oh, for sure. Back in the day when Tony was playing, like it wasn't considered a lost art. It was just considered just being better than everybody else at that specific thing, which was, his average, getting on base, hitting all fields, never striking out, being a tough at bat, just hand-eye coordination, everything about Tony. Like you see that with Luis Arraez, but they're not even.
Yeah, he's not going to be Mr. Padre. No. 20 years with one team. He hasn't even been a Padre at home yet.
Yeah, he's had 30 at bats.
But I do think it's fair to say what Luis Arraez does at the plate, at least for some people, does remind them of some of the skill sets and unique qualities that Tony Gwynn possessed at times during his career as well, which I do think is cool. I don't know what Luis Arraez is going to do here. We're all optimistic. I think he could have a very good tenure and season, and hopefully 2025 as well. So we'll get to see Luis Arraez tomorrow.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Padre.
Would have been 64 today. So, okay, there's a lot of places we could go. By the way, if you missed Kevin Acee's article on Xander Bogaerts, you'll hear from AJ Preller on Xander coming up in the next 10 or so minutes, and then we'll react more to that coming up at 3:30, and with Kevin, who will join us tomorrow on Jon and Jim. Let's start with the positive. You've been talking about him, Jay Cronenworth.
Crone Zone?
Show Crone Zone some love.
Give Crone Zone some love right now.
Crone Zone.
Crone Zone some love right now.
Yes.
Give Crone Zone some love.
Thank you, Brian. So, I mean, Cronenworth, I feel like there's been a lot of Profar talk, as there should be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like there's always the big three conversation.
Yep.
Not good enough, yada, yada, yada.
Are you saying we're not talking enough about Crone Zone?
You have been. I haven't. You have been. You consistently talk about him. For me, it's been a little bit more of an afterthought. I've been impressed. He's been very good. He's been very consistent. He has bounced back. Here's the general manager of the Padres earlier today on the Darren Smith Show on Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I think with these things, like, you know, Jake, he's a good player, and I think he's credit to him. You know, he went home this off season and you know, basically looked himself and said, I got to make some adjustments. He definitely has made some swing adjustments, some mechanical adjustments, and he's gotten off to a really good start. He's hitting the ball well. He's using the field. He's a tremendous defender. He continues to be an absolute weapon for us at first base, and somebody that's a difference maker from that standpoint. You know, again, last year too, you know, we got into he was starting to get going offensively, and then you know, he got hit with the pitch, and you know, and had the broken bone. So, you know, exactly where he would have ended up last year, we'll see. But again, that's part of the deal, is when you believe in players, and we believe in a group that's here. You know, there's going to be some, you know, at times some peaks and valleys. Hopefully we're able to limit that. But over the course of years, you know, guys that are good players, that's going to show up. And Jake's responded really well, and he's played really good baseball here in the first 40 games for us.
They needed Jake Cronenworth to have a bounce back season.
Mm-hmm.
Season's still long enough for him to go through slumps. In the end of the year, you could look up and be like, man, he started out so well, and then it did not end well.
Sure.
But just, I don't envision that happening, just because of what we've seen, his confidence level, what he has said about his swing, saying that it's the best he's felt in like years.
Yeah.
You know,
yes, I've seen those quotes. Yeah.
And they needed him to have a bounce back season, because you sign this guy to a big contract, not like the biggest contract, but 7 years, $80 million is 7 years, $80 million. I know it buys out the rest of the arbitration and a couple of years in a free agency.
That's good money.
But it's good money. And if you just look at what he has been doing over his career with the Padres, it's been a decline after decline. It's been a constant downslope. So you needed to have this type of year from Jake, and he's been great. He's been absolutely great. I know Jurickson Profar is both of our like biggest surprise of the season, and how could it not be?
Not just ours, right?
A lot of people's like, if he keeps this up, he's going to be an all-star this year.
Right.
And to be honest with you, if Jake keeps this up, he might have a chance to be an all-star at first base as well.
Well, they won't have all-stars, although it does feel like at times they're trending for a number of all-stars. Speaking of Profar, because, you know, Darren positioned it this way and he was spot on. No one envisions this. I don't even know if Jurickson Profar envisioned this, but obviously AJ Preller seen Jurickson Profar for a good bulk of his career. So Profar off to this amazing start, a reason why the Padres are 500, not below 500 right now. Here's AJ Preller on Jurickson Profar's reemergence.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. He's played some good baseball in San Diego. You know, I think sometimes some guys are comfortable in certain environments. He's got, you know, I think with some players that he's around every day, Manny and Tatis, they've got a good thing where they're very honest with each other. And Jurickson is he's a very competitive player, and I think he enjoys the atmosphere playing around these guys. I can tell even early on. You know, the other day when he hit the home run on Tuesday, he likes being around Luis Arraez, and their energy is gonna click. And you know, again, he's somebody that's went this off season and, you know, worked out in the Dominican, made some swing adjustments, but also went and played winter ball. So I think you're seeing a guy, you know, still a young, whatever is 31, 32 years old, whatever Jurickson is right now. He's a guy that wants to get better, wants to keep growing, and gotten off to a good start in the year so far as well. And I think part of that's being comfortable here in San Diego. He loves it here. He's played well here. He likes the team, and, you know, somebody also had something to prove coming into this year, and he's gotten off to a good start.
I would say that sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that Jurickson Profar is not good, because he is. He was a number one prospect back in the day for a reason. He's been in Major League Baseball for over a decade for a reason. But I would say that this signing, nobody would expect him to do what he did when they signed him. I don't think anybody did.
No one did.
And so with that, like, yeah, have they gotten a little lucky where Jurickson Profar outperforming all expectations? Maybe. Like, he's a good player, but is he this good of a player? Like, it's kind of to say that he is. I think you look at his career and you be like, well, his career here was in 2018 with the Oakland A's, and he's been good while he's been on the Padres. Like his time with the Padres has been pretty decent. And so sometimes, again, you it's better to be lucky than good with some signings. Like you sign a guy to a low level contract and he outperforms that by 3 times the amount of money that you're giving him. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And they've absolutely gotten out so far with Jurickson Profar.
So remember when Will Smith called him irrelevant? I mean, he just did. It's not, he didn't kind of call him irrelevant. He called him irrelevant. So what's interesting is the Dodgers are here tomorrow.
Yes,
and
John.
that happened after, I want to say, a Padres 5-2 loss in the middle game of a 3-game series. The Padres would win the next day because of Profar. And Profar has completely torn the cover off the baseball since. Now, he was already playing really good baseball, and he's still playing really good baseball. But any idea of irrelevancy, and like what Machado said, I'm firmly behind, like put some respect on his name. He's completely right. Well, Mike Schultz said in the immediate aftermath of that as well, the guy's been in the big leagues for 10 years. Like that's, I'm paraphrasing now, but you really should not say that about another big leaguer, let alone a guy that has put together a really quality big league career. Now, to everyone's point, does 40 games turn into 162? I mean, it would be amazing if he could and I'm not saying even this, but even 162 of productivity would be unbelievable, Jim. I mean, he's trending for all these crazy numbers, 100 plus RBIs, the batting average, the OPS is still in the mid 900s. It's been unbelievable to watch, and let's just hope it continues. And I hope it continues through at least another Dodgers series with, again, the team that kind of reignited this. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Well, he hasn't been this year for the Padres.
And he's a big part of this team. Like, screw him just being good. Like, no, he's a vital piece to this offense and how they have been able to basically have a top 10 offense in baseball. And the biggest reason, and one of the biggest reasons, is Jurickson Profar. It's on May 9th to say that, man, where would this team be without Jurickson Profar? I mean, I didn't expect that to be said on May 9th. If you told me that 2 months ago,
no,
I'd be like, whoa, what happened?
Right.
Like, what? But it is true. This team would not be where it's at. This team would also not have the offensive numbers that they have without Jurickson Profar. I'm not saying that he's doing all the work, because it's impossible to do all the work in baseball from just one player, but he has been that steady constant in that lineup wherever he is being put, whether it be in the middle, whether it be at leadoff, whether it was when he was hitting closer to the bottom of the order. Everywhere he has batted this year, he has performed.
He has. And then there's this, like, the offense has been truly brilliant this year, certainly by Padres perspective. You're looking at like
compared
a top
to last
5.
season's been brilliant.
I mean, it's one of the best offenses in baseball. I mean, you could argue it's a top 5 offense in baseball. It's certainly a top 10, which is really impressive. Yes. And when you compare it with the backdrop of last year, you're spot on. But we all know this, without a Yu Darvish type horse, without a Joe Musgrove, without these guys giving you 30 starts or something near it, it's a lot tougher to envision this team going to the postseason, even with a really good offense. So this was an interesting back and forth with Darren Smith and AJ Preller, Padres GM, on how you do this balancing act over 162 with veteran players like Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove.
It's an individual situation. You know, I think at the end of the day, you just look at each player in their spot and kind of how they're feeling, how they're doing. And, you know, also, you know, you gotta understand it's a long year. So I think, you know, at least with Darvish early in the season, we probably were, you know, erred on the side of caution and just, you know, looking more at the full season. And I think with Joe, you know, same thing with this situation. And I think, you know, there may be different times based on how they're presenting, what they're saying, where we're at in the season, you know, that you'll have a different conversation, but we're never going to put somebody's, you know, health at risk or anything like that, career at risk, just to go win, you know, one game. And, you know, there's a lot of conversation with doctors, medical team, trainers, and then, you know, coaches and obviously the player. And, you know, that's, you know, ultimately in these two cases with Darvish and Musgrove, you know, we made a decision that both for, you know, mainly for them and then for our team, it was better to, you know, take some downtime right now. We find out about some other guys and see some other guys step up. And then also just kind of get these guys to where we're not chasing it all year, you know, from a health standpoint. And hopefully, you know, it worked out so far here for you and hopefully with Joe, the same thing. And we're in a good spot here in the next couple of weeks when Joe comes back.
I don't think we're ever going to get we're actually really concerned about his arm.
But he did say one really interesting thing. The last few words he said, hopefully we'll find out soon, or we'll have Joe back in the next couple of weeks. Remember, he's actually eligible to come back in a week, 17th, 8 days. So is it more a couple of weeks, or is it still maybe he returns May 17th?
If the team is playing well, do you slow play it? I
may. It's a good point.
And even if they're not playing well, I might slow play it. Like regardless of how they're playing.
The year is long.
Because it wasn't like Joe was the only starter in the rotation that was performing well, because he was actually one of the starters in the rotation that wasn't performing well.
Right.
It's not like a Dylan Cease, and you're also not in like August and September when you are probably, chasing wins more often than not because of the postseason coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I would slow play it with Joe. I just would, even if Joe is the type of guy, and he's the type of guy that's going to, push it and try to be ready as quick as possible. I think I would protect Joe from himself here and make sure that he is like fully close to 100%. He's not going to be 100% for the rest of the season. No one's 100%, but as close as you can be before you come back. I don't want to push it. I don't want to go up to him and he's like, hey, how you feeling? He's like, oh yeah, I can start tomorrow.
Right.
Like, no. How are you feeling? And make sure that when he does come back, hopefully, knock on all the wood around you, that this does not come up again this season.
No, they'll need him, and we can talk about the depth in the system, and they may have it, but they will. I mean, it's just too hard to envision them doing this and having the season they hope to have without a healthy Joe Musgrove. And then there's Xander Bogaerts, who Kevin Acee wrote about today.
Yeah.
Do you need to say more? If you're a Padres fan, you understand the struggles that Xander Bogaerts is going through right now. So here was AJ Preller earlier today with Darren Smith. The entire interview, by the way, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app. Make sure to listen to the entire thing. Really insightful 20-25 minutes. Here's Xander Bogaerts, AJ Preller and Xander Bogaerts struggles.
Xander will be the first one to tell you he holds himself accountable, and he's as honest as any player we have on the roster. And he expects more. He knows at the end of the day, what he's capable of, and it's definitely not for a lack of effort right now. Like, he's in there every single day trying to figure this out. And sometimes some guys can do too much. Sometimes some guys may need a mechanical tweak, etc. So it feels like to me from Xander hasn't quite found from a balance standpoint offensively. Kind of figuring out like, hey, where he's at, being behind the baseball, driving the baseball. I think it's more Victor's area, and from the offensive side, and I know Xander's working on that. Again, it's in the positional element of it. I don't really feel like that's the case seeing it. I think it's more of an offensive thing, and he had some of this in the summer months last year, and I think the good news at the end of the day was he had a great second half, and huge September, and and the numbers ended up being there. And I think with Xander, he's got a lot of physical ability. Probably the biggest thing is he cares. He cares about this team, the city, his teammates. Sometimes you almost look at it like maybe he tries too hard at times to kind of live up to and to what probably his expectations. But he's going to figure it out. I feel with a lot of confidence in that. And I think probably the bright spot for our standpoint is there's going to be a lot of hits coming because he's that type of hitter, and there's a lot of belief in Xander, in the building as we go forward.
You see, Xander Bogaerts would not be struggling if you guys just gave him a standing ovation. I mean, it's pretty simple to think about
because he didn't get the standing ovation. Too much. Was he supposed to get the standing ovation at Wrigley and wherever else they've been on the road where he struggled? I know it is.
It's a joke. But
even though you spent a week on it when I was away?
I didn't spend a week on it.
10 days.
Positivity, roar. I saw it in the chat from my buddy James. I said, yeah, sure, why not? It wasn't like a random thought in my head that just popped up and I decided to say it on the radio.
Should we boo him?
No.
I'm kidding.
Even though you do get people out there that will boo. You can do whatever the hell you want. Exactly. You want to boo, you can boo. He's not going
to get mercifully booed.
No.
He's not going to happen.
No, but I'm just saying, like, whatever you want to do, if you want to boo, then whatever. If you want to cheer, stand up,
moderately cheered like he always is.
Fine. The thing with Xander here is, after reading Kevin's article, and we'll dive deeper into it on the other side. Baseball is the biggest mental grind that you will ever go through.
Sure.
And you could argue it's the hardest sport to play of any professional sport out there. Maybe golf.
I was about to say golf. Yeah,
Golf is probably
game.
Second.
You can lose in a second. Golf, right? You can lose your swing. You could struggle to get it back.
See, golf is you're playing against yourself.
Yeah.
Baseball, I mean, a guy can make a bad pitch and you can take advantage of it, right? Like you're not playing against yourself. There's someone else out there you got to beat. So to me, it's golf number 1, baseball number 2 for like most mental grind sports out there.
Baseball being every day, like
that's
your
also
performance
part
is
of it,
judged daily. It's not really in golf. You know what I mean? It's a different sport, but you're right. They're both
up there. 1A, 1B,
challenging.
whatever you want to say it is, 1 or 2, it doesn't matter, but they're both extremely challenging. And when you hear some of these quotes from Xander coming up next, you'll know exactly what he's going through.
All right, so
it's pick your poison, hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball or hit under
ball
par.
that doesn't move, but
Under par is
All right, so Kevin Acee spoke with Xander Bogaerts about his struggles. What did he have to say, and what can we learn from what he had to say? That's on the other side. Plus, again, join us tomorrow at the Naughty Barrel. We'll get you ready for Padres and Dodgers. We're with you until 6 o'clock tonight. We have Luke Bryan tickets to give away. Stay with us. All right, Xander Bogaerts, what can we learn from his own words on his 2024 struggles? That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. We'll start with the Padres. They have an off day today before they start a 6-game homestand this weekend. First up, they will take on the Dodgers for a 3-game series at Petco Park starting tomorrow night. We'll be at the Naughty Barrel getting you ready for Padres Dodgers. Make sure to come on by. We're giving away wonderfront tickets. So if you want some wonderfront tickets, come and say hi to us at the Naughty Barrel. Moving over to NBA, a couple things here happening today. Patrick Beverley, for throwing a basketball in the stands twice at fans, got suspended for 4 games. And Frank Vogel of the Phoenix Suns got fired today after their first-round exit in the postseason this year. And a couple playoff games happening tonight. Celtics-Cavs, game 2 of their series, 4 p.m. tip-off time in Boston, followed by the Thunder and the Mavericks, game 2 of that series, 6:30 tip-off time in OKC. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Save up to $500 on select adjustable bed sets like the all-new Temper Adapt collection with advanced pressure relief to help reduce aches and pains. Plus, get a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Hurry into Mattress Firm today.
For you to win bonus bucks, you have $1,000 every day this week. Listen for the keyword entered at sportssd.com. Luke Bryan tickets, we'll give those away at 4:45. So here's my question on Xander Bogaerts, as opposed to my buddy has a son named Xander. I'm talking about Xander Bogaerts.
Xander Bogaerts,
if anyone was curious,
the other Xander
as opposed
Bogaerts.
to my buddy's kid. Is Xander Bogaerts trying too hard, or is he just on the downside of his career? Here's a quote that he gave Kevin Acee that's in the UT today. This is from Bogaerts. People are like, you're too hard on yourself. You're too down on yourself, Bogaerts said. It's like, bro, I've seen the same bleep the whole time. At this point, you're just flipping a coin, like hoping something different happens while doing the same thing over and over again. That's Xander Bogaerts, very transparent and honest to Kevin Acee in today's Union Tribune. What's he saying?
Not the best thing you want to hear.
When you read what I mean, he's saying what he's saying, but is he saying more than what he's saying about his struggles? What can we learn from what he's saying?
That everything I'm doing is not working.
Correct.
And I don't know what to do now.
Correct.
And maybe some of my confidence is I'm losing my confidence. It feels like I'm at a point where I just like say F it and I just feel like I want to give up. I'm not saying he's going to do those things. He's getting paid a lot of money and he's a professional baseball player and he loves baseball seemingly. And he's going to go out there and he's going to grind his ass off to try to get himself back to playing better baseball. But for this year specifically, it's kind of a problem, John.
Not kind of a problem. It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing. We may have said this during the Fusion. I certainly said it with Darren off air. Baseball, unlike real life, is not a game that you try harder and you get results. Right. In real life, if you prepare more for a test, there's a very good chance you do better on the test. Mm-hmm. In baseball, the more you think, the more exposing the sport can be. And just because, like your analogy earlier with golf, which is spot on, just because you are good at golf doesn't mean you're always going to be good at golf. Mm-hmm. And just because you've been a good hitter doesn't mean you're guaranteed the right to be a good hitter. There are exceptions, of course, to brilliant hitters for a large sum of their career. Look at Tony Gwynn. But that's more the exception to the rule. And even someone as good as Xander Bogaerts, and oh, by the way, he entered this year a 291 career hitter. Oh, by the way, last year in his final 305 plate appearances, this was in Kevin's article, he hit 321. So we can say whatever we want to say. So is he trying too hard, which is something you can say in a sport like baseball?
Maybe. I don't know. We don't see him do the work every day, but he's putting in the work. I appreciate Xander for being candid and honest about these things, and you feel bad for him. Like, I'm the guy that says, who cares about whatever? Just produce. You're getting paid lots of money. Like, you need to perform. The stars need to be stars. But when you see stuff like this and how candid he is, you can't help but feel bad for him. But then you also have to realize that, like, I feel bad for the guy, but he's a professional. Sure. And he is getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, at some point, the feeling bad for the guy is kind of going to go away. Like, if he continues to produce like this for the rest of the season, and say they miss the postseason, right? And Xander performs like this for the rest of the year, and there's big opportunities for Xander to help this team win. He doesn't come through. Is anybody going to feel bad for the guy because he works his ass off? Probably not. People are going to probably be upset because they didn't make the postseason, and Xander had a god-awful year in year number 2 of an 11-year, $280 million contract. I think that's how majority fans think, even though these guys are real people. It's not just a video game out there. These guys are going through a lot of stuff that probably we don't even know about, but it's just kind of how sports is, man. Do you produce or do you not produce?
Yeah. One of the things he said that actually was interesting to me that I don't necessarily agree with, but maybe it's what he needs is this is his quote. One thing I know, it only takes one swing. But I don't see him as a guy that can't get a hit. I see him as a guy that hasn't had any consistency producing. There's a lot of games he's actually coming up. He's on the heels of a 7-game hit streak. Now, it was soft.
It's very soft.
So it's not like this isn't Chris Davis Orioles. You can't hit a ball slumping. This isn't a 140 hitter. He's not hitting 140, and there's no threat of him hitting 140 this year. To me, he's not the type of hitter that needs a home run to get out of it. He's not the type of hitter that needs a clutch hit.
Because he's not a home run hitter.
That's the thing. He doesn't need a clutch hit. I mean, he had hit in 7 consecutive games before the last 2 games against the Cubs when he was over. So I don't know what he needs, but he needs for me, more than one moment. He needs some consistency.
Another concerning part is saying how he's doing all the right things when he is not in the games.
Like, but then he reverts.
But then
back.
As soon as he gets in the game, he reverts back to what he's been doing to get him in this massive slump.
Right.
That is kind of scary to think about, because we were texting about it today, and I was like, he's got the yips. not really the yips. The yips is like when you can't throw the ball at first base, or if you try to hit a chip shot, you shank it every time. Like those are kind of the
or a
yips.
pitcher can't throw a strike. It's very rarely associated with hitting because everyone knows hitting is already overly taxing and mental.
Yeah, you can't say the yips are equated to hitting, but it feels
typically not.
It feels a little bit kind of like what the yips are is when you go out and practice. Say I go to the driving range and I hit 100 balls and they all feel great, pure shots. I'm like, I feel great right now.
Mm-hmm.
I get on the course. My first shot's a dead hook, 200 yards on the right side or the left side, excuse me. And I'm like, what the hell? I just hit 100 great shots at the practice range. This is kind of how I view it with Xander, and it's a lot of golf analogies today for me. But he's going on the driving range and he's hitting everything pure, and then he gets on the course and he can't hit a good shot to save his life.
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny you say this because when we were texting back and forth, I don't equate hitting to yips typically. And I've spent so much time covering baseball in my career, I don't see it the same. But I spent 15 years in the minor leagues. But here's the thing.
Breaking
it's
news.
not yips, but like, how do we explain? Get this ad off my computer. Baseball Reference.
It's not. I hate when they do that.
Come on, man. I'm trying to do a radio show.
Make your screen bigger.
Look, like in all honesty, I can't even minimize. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
So hear me out. Like Chris Davis, it's not Xander Bogaerts, who's a power hitter. He hit 209 after the 2013 season, okay?
Uh-huh.
And prior to the 2013 season, he had 266. Like he was night and day different. And I think it had to do with that contract and his vision and everything. Albert Pujols, night and day career. St. Louis, Anaheim. Why? Age, contract, zillion factors, injuries. I don't typically think yips. Now, they're also both brilliant power hitters at one point, both Pujols and Davis. That's not who Xander Bogaerts is, but maybe there is something to be said about that. Davis is all of a sudden falling off a cliff. Albert Pujols all of a sudden falling off a cliff. Is Xander Bogaerts going through something comparable to what those two players went through in the middle or later portions of their career? We'll only find out. You can't write him off in year 2 because unfortunately you can't do it because he's going to be here for years 3, 4, 5, and 6.
You can't write him off, but you can definitely be very concerned about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are the options here? There are none.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you can't write him off.
There's no option here other than to continue to play him every single day. And, he already moved positions for you. And you try to bench him, then what? You can't bench a guy in year 2 of an 11-year deal.
They've already given him off days.
I know, but I mean, like literally bench him, right. John.
Well, no, I don't think they will.
He becomes the Tyler Wade of this team.
No,
they're not doing that.
That's not. But eventually, like when you think about like their infield situation, which is pretty interesting, because you've acquired Luis Arraez,
correct,
and he is an infielder. Even if you want to DH him, we could pretend like he's just a DH. He's not. He's been an infielder. Mm-hmm. So you got to kind of squeeze in space potentially. Like you have the ability. If Bogaerts completely fell off the cliff, 80 games in, 120 games in, at what point you say, you know what, you're sitting more than starting? I don't know. It's not now.
Well, if we get to the 80 game mark and he's still putting up these type of numbers with an OPS under 600,
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm sorry, but if I'm moving him down to like 8th or 9th in the lineup, maybe even 7, 8, 9, one of those spots, I am not going to risk it by putting him in the middle of this lineup and expecting him to come through because he's just not getting it done. And it's great that he is very candid about all of this stuff. It kind of brings that human element to what's going on with Xander right now. He's amazing with the media. He's great at taking you inside baseball here and telling you what's going on with him. But it's also a little scary to know what's going on with him, that he is practicing all the right things, and when it comes to game time, he reverts to all of the wrong things. That's a scary thing to think about.
All right, on the other side, again, we have Luke Bryan tickets. We'll give away at 4:45. Let's answer this question once and for all. Last time you're going to hear us discuss it. Does the NBA favor big market teams? That's next. All right, you know that mid-afternoon feeling, you're hungry, you're tired, you're waiting for dinner, and now you want to start snacking, and it's probably unhealthy. Stop with that line of thinking. Pick up Almond RX packs. Eliminate the vending machine from your day. Eat healthier, not just healthier, it's tasty. Everyone wants a healthy, tasty snack for their family that has a daily dose of vitamin D and is an immunity booster as well. Hey guys, it's Schaefer. If you're looking for that healthy, tasty snack that curbs hunger, look no further than Almond RX, the first and only skinless almond fortified with vitamin D that has your daily serving of 23 almonds and was founded by a San Diego sports medicine physician. Almond RX is packed with nutrients that support your heart health, cellular health, and gut health. And you can find Almond RX at any Foodland right here in San Diego County, Harvest Ranch at Encinitas, or at almondrx.com. That's ALMONDRX.com. In fact, if you go there right now, check out this website right now while you're listening, almondrx.com. You're going to get free shipping on all orders of $25 or more. Almond RX curbs hunger and is perfect for the on-the-go lifestyle. do you think I'm referring to? No, don't look. Don't look at my computer. This one's hard. 15-time All-Star, 8-time National League batting champion, 7-time National League Silver Slugger, 5-time Gold Glover, 3,141 hits, 543 doubles, 1,138 RBIs, 319 steals,
Oh, I got it.
a career 338 hitter,
The steals is what gave it to
a
me.
career 371 hitter in 9 World Series games, and someone referred to as Mr. Padre. Any guesses as to who I'm referring to?
That guy whose jersey used to have in a cart forever.
Jurickson
It's not
Profar?
Mitch Moreland. It's not Mitch
Oh, it's-
Moreland. No,
okay. It's not
incorrect.
Mitchie Two Bags.
Incorrect. Jim, would you like to take a guess?
I would. Let me think here. Is it?
It's Tony
Tony
Gwynn.
Gwynn?
It's
I
Tony
was gonna
Gwynn. You were
say
going to
that.
say.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Tony Gwynn. Again,
Happy
would have
birthday,
been
Tony.
64 years of age.
His stats-
today. Mind-boggling.
It's so fun. If you ever just have any just you're bored and you're just like, I want to go do something kind of fun on the internet, look up Tony's stats on Baseball Reference page and do a little deep dive. They're amazing.
Dude, just the sheer fact of hitting 372 as a 37-year-old.
It's
He hit 372
yeah.
in 651 plate appearances as a 37-year-old.
His stats are
Yeah.
incredible. Stuff that you don't see at all in baseball anymore. That's why we talk about Luis Arraez so much as being there's a comp there because he does the things that Tony did, and or at least he tries to do the things that Tony did.
I mean, Arraez has had some pretty gaudy stats.
And he's
himself.
hitting 400 right now with the Padres. You know that?
Well, that doesn't mean anything because it's so few.
It doesn't mean
plate
anything, but it
appearances.
means a little something.
But what means something to me is hitting 354 last year.
That's pretty
That's
good.
not easy to do. He hit 354 in 617 plate appearances for the season.
Isn't it wild too? A guy that has a career 324 batting average,
325 now.
325 now. Sorry, this is his third team in the last 3 years.
It is weird. But Juan Soto is this great player.
That too.
3 teams in 4 years.
And it's like, don't you think that those types of guys are, good for a lineup? Would you want to keep those guys?
Well, as you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Soto and Arraez are so different that I actually think I understand how Arraez has potentially moved because there isn't the premium placed anymore on his skill set where there was the premium on Tony's skill set in the 1980s and 1990s. Arraez, I'm not saying it's dime a dozen. He's not. But I think modern baseball analytics would tell you he's not the difference between winning and losing.
Correct.
Where
He's an amazing complementary piece.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
not a guy that you build around. Soto's a guy that you build around. Arraez is not a guy you build around, and it's not a knock on Arraez at all.
You just need some slug. I mean, you think about the top 25 hitters in the game, and a lot of them slug. Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, Manny Machado, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, they slug.
Imagine if Soto was in this lineup this year.
I don't know. Comes off the bench for this team. I'm kidding. But, they have good problems right now with Arraez, like we just talked about with their infield.
Man, that lineup would be good.
Yeah, if you could honestly, like we said yesterday, I can't figure it out, nor can they.
Because you could do it. Here, real quick. Let's put together the best possible lineup if Juan Soto was on this team. I know it's stupid, but I want to do it.
I'm listening.
Because you have to have Jurickson Profar in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm doing,
putting him in the infield.
I'm putting him at first base. I'm moving Jake to second. And these guys are all hitting the same right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kimmy's at short.
Manny's at third. Soto is in left.
DH Arraez. You got Campy.
Campy behind catcher. Merrill in center. Toddy in right.
Yeah. There it is.
That could have been a legit lineup for this team this year.
Yeah, I don't know if it could have or not with the money, and then would they have made these trades and yada yada yada?
Well,
I don't know.
Now the problem is you'd have to bench Bogaerts, but
perfect.
There you go, fix the problem.
Fixed.
But that was it. That could have been, as crazy as it sounds, that could have been this Padres starting 9 this year.
But here's the thing: I don't have an issue, and nor do you, with their starting 9 now. I would have told you heading into 2023, way less question marks than 2024. But guess what? It hasn't worked out that way.
I would prefer some more pop in the lineup.
Yeah, probably.
But that would be just Manny be better and Toddy be better and Bogaerts give this team anything. You know what I saw today?
I don't.
Speaking of Manny.
Because I don't live with you.
No, you don't. So he's been struggling. And by struggling, I mean he's not doing what you'd hope he would be doing.
Manny?
Manny.
Yeah,
correct. Scuffling-ish.
Mm-hmm.
He's not producing at a high clip like we've seen him do in the past.
Sure.
Okay. Last year, John, at this exact
moment in time,
40
games in,
he had 35 hits. He had 5 home runs. He had 34 RBIs.
Okay. 34 RBIs?
Sorry, 34 strikeouts, 10 walks. He was hitting 250. His on-base percentage was 300. His slugging percentage was 393. And his OPS was 693.
I don't believe that. And he's got the exact same thing this year?
At this very moment in time, 40 games in this season, he has 35 hits, 5 home runs, 34 strikeouts, 10 walks. He's hitting 252. His on-base percentage is 303. His slugging percentage is 389. And his OPS is 692.
I don't even believe that. Even if it's true. I don't believe it. Where did you see it?
I saw it on the internet, John. Of course it's real.
Exactly. I don't believe that. Do you? I'm going to look it up.
Why would I not believe it?
Because it's too ridiculous. It's not accurate. So through 40 games, he was hitting 231. On the other side, does the NBA favor big market teams? What's the exact example? Was it through 40 games of his?
Probably
through the day?
Probably the first 40 games of his because he missed some time because of his paternity leave. Just let me have this one. Just let me have it.
What'd you say his OPS?
Just 693 or 690.
Here, look at his game log and tell me what it matches up. The wrap is on the other side. We have Luke Bryan tickets to give away.
This?
I'm like, that doesn't. I don't.
He's about to get married. He's never going to win an argument again.
I wanted to give it to you, but that sounds too good.
Let me have it. He's doing basically the same exact thing as he doing last year as he did this year.
Basically, yeah.
There you go. That's my point.
Hour 2, Jon and Jim.
I hate you. All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres, they have an off day today. They start a 6-game homestand tomorrow night. First up, 3-game series with the Dodgers. 6:40 first pitch there. We'll be outside the Naughty Barrel getting you ready for Padres Dodgers, so come on by and say hi. Moving over to NBA news of the day. Frank Vogel was fired today from the Phoenix Suns. He lasted only one season there, and they got ousted in the first round of the postseason by the Timberwolves. And Patrick Beverley for throwing a basketball at a fan twice in the stands after their team got ousted from the postseason, got suspended today for 4 games. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even on the same day. And now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Offer ends 6/1. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
2 games for each throw.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We've got Luke Bryan tickets we'll give away at 4:45 or around there, so be listening for your chance to win those. Now, if you missed what Jim was doing over the last 5 minutes during commercial break, and you did because you're not with us, remember, I shot down Jim's amazing stat, and I hated to do it. It was just too amazing to be true, which turned out to be accurate.
It was off by like 0.0003.
Agreed. We're saying he's identical.
That was my point. The stats,
right.
It would be a crazy coincidence if they're the exact same.
But they're pretty close.
They're
to the exact
pretty
same.
damn close.
But then you spent the last 6 minutes trying to analyze Baseball Reference at like the exact moment in time where maybe they did like intersect with each other.
It feels like there was one point last year,
maybe
through 40 games, or at least May 9th is the stat,
mm-hmm.
that he had almost the identical stat line that he has this season. The home runs are the same. The hits are the same. The average is pretty much the same. The OPS is pretty much the same.
Right.
The slugging's pretty much the same. And the on-base percentage is pretty much the same.
So he is who we thought he is.
But that's not good enough. It's like last year, we were all like, when's Manny get going? When's he going to get going? When's he going to get going? Never got going. This year, when's Manny going to get going? When's Manny going to get going? And this is year 2 of the mega 10-year deal that he just signed last spring.
Is this a prime example? You'll see this in a news cycle, like, oh my gosh, there's so much attention here. Now there's another big news story that takes the attention off the initial story. Is Xander's struggles.
We haven't talked that much about
taking away from Manny Machado's slow start.
I would say yes, because what has been the number one talking point with this team,
Profar?
Beside that's on the negative side.
Yeah, Bogaerts is
Bogaerts.
It's for a year plus now.
Yeah. The if you're looking at like the concerns of the team, there's a lot of positives. And we started the show today with those positives. With
absolutely. We heard from AJ Preller.
Profar and Cronezone.
Give Cronezone some love.
Give Cronezone some love right now, guys.
Give Cronezone some love right now.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But Cronezone's like the second best first baseman in all of baseball according to Fangraphs.
No, he's a first baseman. He's not second.
Or sorry, first baseman.
No, he's the first best. He's the first baseman. You said.
So he's like the second best first baseman.
That's such a hard weird way to say. Yeah, second best first baseman. That is amazing. You're saying his productivity at first is the second best in baseball.
It's better than Freddie Freeman. It's better than Bryce Harper.
That is amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Credit to him, man.
Credit to Cronezone.
Yeah.
And Profar, who's a baseball player.
Obviously,
and Wadey
and Cronezone especially. Got to give him. Yeah. course he's a bit so
about
true,
Profar.
Schulte. You're right. But you are right, John,
What?
about it's the everyone's looking
Look
over here
theory.
but over here is also not doing well either.
I honestly think there's something to be said for that in a news cycle. I don't know what it's called, but it's like we all know what I'm referring to. Like there'll be 24-hour news coverage. I don't even want to go to
the Friday news dump.
Yeah, like there'll be 24 hours news coverage of a story, and then there'll be another big story, and you'll never hear about the other story again, by and large. And I'm not saying that's what's happening with Machado, but if Bogaerts is hitting 333, there'd be a lot more attention on Manny Machado right now.
Yep.
I do know that.
If Manny's hitting 330 and Bogey's hitting 280, then we'd be talking about who?
Toddy? Probably true. Little ouchie.
Maybe Manny's recovering from his little ouchie still.
His elbow.
Maybe it's affecting him.
It's been an interesting start to the year. He had the off-season recovery from surgery. His wife gave birth to their first child within the last couple of weeks.
That's another like human element that we don't even really consider a lot.
These are human beings. He missed 4 games because of paternity leave. Completely reasonable.
Yeah. Like he's
DH'd for the first time in his career primarily. He did last September.
His nights might be long when he's home because of a newborn. Like we didn't you don't think about those things.
I wonder, he hopefully has help.
I'm sure he does, John.
You think?
I bet
if
him
not,
and his wife have some help. Yeah. I think they can afford it.
Probably.
I think they can afford it.
All right, so Luke Bryan tickets, we'll give those away at 4:45. If you missed AJ Preller's conversation with Darren Smith earlier today, we'll play back portions of that coming up at 5 p.m. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, finally, does the NBA favor big market teams?
No.
Do you want to elaborate?
No. But it is always interesting how the Los Angeles Lakers, every single year that LeBron has been there, have led the league in free throws attempted by like the biggest of margins of you could possibly imagine.
But is it more LeBron than the Lakers? As in, did the Cavs used to lead leagues in fouls drawn, or the Miami Heat? Because he's just a downhill guard that gets fouled.
Yeah, he drives to the basket
like
every time.
Maybe we could say LeBron James gets calls, and I'm sure he does. But did he get him in Miami?
I would assume he did, John.
Yeah, we watched. They were in the finals 4 straight years.
And I'm not saying that just going to the free throw line like 4 times more than any other team
is a guarantee.
Means that they're going to the finals.
Right. Because they're not.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no, the NBA doesn't favor, but it is always interesting how a lot of the times it feels that way.
I actually think the narrative is yes, but I think actually the NBA does a lot to try to create a level of parity because of the extensions. Players don't have to leave market. They can sign for more money in market. And I look at some recent examples of teams that have been very good, like the Milwaukee Bucks, and I don't see a league that's completely and utterly dominated by the New York Knicks. They haven't been good for 20 years. Now they're good. The Lakers have been good, but they're not great every single year. Look at their last decade. They haven't been great every single year. So I think it's a false narrative.
Yeah.
I don't think so much they favor it. I think they're just like every other league to where, sure, on paper, they want LA versus New York in the finals every year. Just like, Major League Baseball, if it's not, the Dodgers versus, the Yankees in the World Series, they all cry about how it's going to be such a disappointing offseason. So I don't think they favor it. I think they kind of secretly hope for it, though.
San Antonio won 5 titles in 8 years. Like that kind of disproves it to me. That wasn't 100 years ago. San Antonio won 5 titles. Milwaukee's won titles. Memphis has been good before. Utah's been good before.
The Pistons won a title. They won a title back in the early 2000s, and then they won a bunch they won 2 in the late 80s and 90s.
Is Detroit a small market? Maybe mid market. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's small market.
What would you consider small market?
Memphis, Milwaukee.
Well, they haven't been good
Salt
enough.
Lake.
They haven't been good enough.
But Milwaukee has been, and they've been good.
Yeah, they won a title.
Exactly. All right, next question.
What's more likely? Jurickson Profar hits over 300 or Xander hits under 250 this year?
To me, it's Xander hitting under 250. More likely. I could see him ending the year hitting like 248. And it's still under 250.
Correct.
I would love to see Jurickson Profar hit over 300 for the entire season. I just don't see that as being like super realistic. Doesn't mean that he can't still have a great year because he's having a great year so far. And a great year for him might be like 287 with like 21 home runs and 78 RBIs. I would take that right the freak now.
I thought you were about to curse.
No.
Okay, so more likely, this is really interesting. Man, more likely, I wrote the question. More likely Bogaerts hits under 250. He's a 291 career hitter. So I don't find it overly likely even with the start. But then again, Profar is nowhere near a career 300 hitter. So I don't find that overly likely. I will buy a nose. Say it's more likely Profar continues to do what he's done. Not to the same extent, but hits 300 on the nose. Because Bogaerts last year, all we did was rip him at 285.
John,
he was nowhere near 250.
You have to remember, John, a Padres player has not hit over 300 in 16 years for a full season.
Well, you're going to get 2 this year.
Oh, you're perfect. You're going to get Profar and you're going to get Arraez.
Correct.
Awesome.
Next question.
Who was the last one?
Brian Giles.
Oh, okay.
In 2008.
Yep. Next question.
Will Manny hit 30 homers this year?
Yes, because that's always what he does.
Back of baseball card.
Back of baseball card. He might give you a really bad season, like for his standards, but damn it, he's going to get 30 home runs. If it means he's got to be out there on one leg.
Right.
Like
at the end of the year.
He's going to get you 30, man. And once he gets you 30, you better hope the team's still in it.
I won't bet against it because he finds ways to get there.
Well, you're going to bet against it?
No, I won't bet against it because he finds. Now, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Here are his totals in full seasons as a Padre. He's not exactly crushing the number. 32 in 2019, 28 in 2021, 28. So there's an average of 30 his first 2 full years here. Then 32 in 2022, then 30. He's averaged, doing them at 30.5 home runs as a Padre in 4 full years. So I won't bet against it. Exactly. I won't bet against it, but it's not like this guy completely falls out of bed with it because he's had a 28 home run season in there. Whoa. He's just a good professional hitter, but I don't consider, like, this is another interesting comment. Do you consider Manny to be like a slugger? Like, I consider him to be more of a hitter than a power hitter.
I consider him, when he's at his best, a gap-to-gap guy.
Okay.
Like, when he's hitting the ball to right center, that kind of feels like that's his best version.
What's the most home runs he's hit in a season?
37?
Correct. So that, to me, isn't...
I'd say no. You have to at least have one season of 40.
I don't know. Is that a power hitter? He's just a great hitter.
Well, in today's game, John, is 30 home runs considered a lot? I would say, yeah.
It is today.
In today's game?
I don't know if it's it's a good amount. You're right.
You're not seeing the guys hit 50 anymore.
You're right.
The guys that hit 40 home runs,
It's a big season.
It's a big season, and they're not hitting like 47, 48. And the guys that do hit 40,
you're right.
You could probably count on both hands.
You're right. Okay. He's a power hitter. He is. He's somewhere in there. Next question.
Will there ever be another Tony Gwynn in San Diego?
No. Stop that. No. There will no. There's only one of one. He is one of one. He's Mr. Padres, Mr. San Diego. No.
No one will do what he did nor mean what he means.
Right.
No doubt. 100% completely.
You can get players that are like going to, like, that could be like legends here if they win a World Series.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, that the only factor here, and I'm not saying they'll be Tony Gwynn, they'll have their own legacies. Nobody has to be Tony Gwynn. Like all these comps going on right now with Michael Jordan. By the way, it's every night. It's like, oh, Jalen Brunson reminds me of Michael Jordan. No, by the way, Anthony Edwards actually reminds me.
I know.
Stop
it.
Not every single night. So they don't have to. But the point is, Fernando Tatis Jr. doesn't have to be Tony Gwynn. But Fernando Tatis Jr. could win 2 titles in the Padres uniform. We have no idea. And that alone would have an amazing legacy here.
Yeah. Do you envision any current Padre getting a statue here?
Honestly, you're about to say no, but I wouldn't say no on that at all, because what if they win a title? So yeah, I would actually lean more yes than no. I would lean more yes than no on that question. Yeah.
If Manny makes the
Manny spends 14 years here and plays in a World Series.
I mean, if you make the Hall of Fame, if Manny makes the Hall of Fame and he goes in as a Padre because he'd be,
then there's your answer.
He would have. But are they going to, what if he doesn't win a World Series? What if,
well, the other statues haven't won a World Series here.
Well, what if at least those 2 guys made it?
Are there only 2 statues?
Yes. Well, there's also a
Yeah, but we're a long way from saying Manny doesn't play in a World Series for the Padres.
There's also a Jerry Coleman statue, but it's
right. But aren't we a long way of saying he never plays in a World Series? Even if, no matter what we feel about the Padres right now,
I know.
He could play late in his career. He could still play mid-career.
I feel like in order to get statues, you got to do something like extraordinary.
I agree with that. Completely.
And you can be super consistent for a team, but like there's been a lot of players that have been super consistent with teams for a long period of time.
I agree completely with what you're saying. Completely.
They have to go above and beyond and do something that, like, Trevor and Tony. I mean, Trevor, they have awards named after them in baseball, John.
But you think Tatis might just have a contract because he had a statue contract? So maybe just a piece of paper that's memorialized.
We are unveiling the
statue contract. It's a statue of the contract.
Yes.
That says $340 million on it.
Just a bronze clipboard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you some possibilities here real quick for statues. Hear me out. There's only one first no-hitter in franchise history.
It's an off day. We're talking about statues.
There's only one first no-hitter.
Statues.
Talking about statues.
There's only one first no-hitter. And he's a San Diegan. It ain't over. I'm just saying, you can't rule out a statue on him. What if he wins the World Series? You're ruling out. He's shaking his head. No, there's no scenario where Joe Musgrove with the World Series and the first no-hitter gets a statue. No scenario.
Sure, if he gets a Cy Young to go with the World Series.
That's not right. You can't guarantee that. You're guaranteeing he can't get a statue.
First of all, John, if this team wins a World Series, they're not going to give one guy a singular statue from that team. Whatever team wins it. That would be whatever they do for the first World Series winner here will be a team-oriented type of thing.
That's not the point, but that doesn't mean you can't get a statue of being on a World Series winning team. If Manny, you just said it. If Machado spends 14 years here and wins a World Series,
who has had, and it's relatively, you can't say it yet. And I'm not even looking at the stats.
Arraez.
No, stop.
Mr. 400.
Guys, he hit 400 with his time in the Padres.
Through April 29th or whatever. Okay.
If Jake Peavy doesn't have a statue, Joe Musgrove shouldn't get a statue. Sorry.
No.
And
this is just conversation. No, it's not.
Why are we talking about statues with Joe?
It's not. It's an off day. You're allowed to have these conversations.
Like 75 murals. That's good enough.
You're right with what you're saying, but there's still there are some things you're not recognizing. I'm saying if they win a World Series,
then it will
he
be
has the first no-hitter. It's not a team thing. If Manny Machado wins a World Series here, he doesn't get a team statue. He gets his own.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No,
Are you kidding? I will guarantee you Manny Machado will have a statue if he spends 13 years here and wins a World Series.
Maybe they, I think, have like criteria that you got to be at least in the Hall of Fame to get a
criteria.
statue.
And Manny Machado will be in the Hall of Fame with that.
Then we'll talk when he's in the Hall of Fame.
But you just said it's not. That's what I'm telling you.
Again.
You're saying that the last statue's already been awarded for a Padre. That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
If here's how I would be like, okay, yeah, Manny deserves a statue. He has to win at least one MVP. He has to at least get the team to the World Series. And he also has to be elected in the Hall of Fame.
Say it one more time. Okay, he has to be in the Hall of Fame. By the way, do you agree? Is he trending for the Hall of Fame?
He's trending.
Answer that. Thank you. Okay,
but
is it that hard? Is it hard to envision he makes it
to the Hall of Fame?
Right? Is it hard to envision?
No, it's not.
Would you say it's 51-49?
Yeah.
Okay, check that box. What else?
Make it to a World Series and be one of the best players on the team.
On the team when they make the World Series, that's fine. You're saying not his last year coming off the bench like Pujols for the Cardinals, or okay, I'm fine.
A key contributor.
Got it. Fine.
And win at least one MVP.
No, he doesn't have to win MVP.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. You don't have to make the Hall of Fame and win a World Series in San Diego to get a statue and win an MVP. That's not the criteria here. And I'm mad about it. It's not. That is not the. Who disagrees? How does Manny get a statue? 70470 started with team. Does he also have to solve homelessness?
Look,
that'd help.
This is not like an indictment on Manny. I'm not saying like, oh, Manny sucked. No.
And I'm not Mr. Manny either, but I'm just telling you from a realist perspective what I think it takes.
Okay, fine. Civil guy, someone in our chat said, well, Gwynn never won an MVP. Well, also Tony hit
fair. 20
there's
years,
there's a lot of things that Tony did.
I agree.
That Manny will never do.
Agreed. 100% agree.
And that's why I say you got to be like, go like extraordinary. You have to do things that are extraordinary. You can't just be Mr. Consistent. I hit 30 home runs for 7 straight seasons. And oh, by the way, we made one World Series and I made the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
Okay,
like,
well, I agree with what you just said. If he just hits 30 home runs for the next 7 years, okay, just hear me out. 30 home runs, but he never gets to a World Series, and he does eventually end up in the Hall of Fame. But his tenure in San Diego is productivity, but never part of the winning team that gets to a World Series. It's very debatable and arguable, and you could very well be right, although I could argue that's probably enough to get a statue because you're talking 12, 13 years here and a Hall of Fame. But there I'll give you. But if they win a World Series and Manny Machado is on that team and he's in the Hall of Fame, I'll start. What do they call it when you make statues? Like, I'll be the designer.
Okay.
And I'm sure it'll look like a stick figure.
The different, and I see people like, well, Hoff never won an MVP. Gwynn,
that's different. That's different. I'm giving you that too. Brilliant closer.
They have awards named after them in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Trevor Hoffman Closer of the Year, the Tony Gwynn.
There's the Eyewash Award.
They have MVPs and Cy Young Award winners, and none of them have statues either.
Yep.
No, that's way different. We can discuss on the other side.
I'm just saying that we're talking about accolades and stuff.
Randy,
I'm going to explain
Jake,
it all.
Blake Snell, should he get a statue?
No, but comparing
him
Blake
on Twitch.
Comparing Blake Snell's tenure as a Padre to what Manny Machado would accomplish after 14 years is a disservice to Manny Machado, and you know it.
Wait, say that again.
Comparing Blake Snell's season to what Manny Machado could accomplish.
I was joking.
But you're saying but you're not joking about what you're saying about Machado.
No, I'm joking about what I said about Blake Snell.
That's my point. It takes more than a season, but it doesn't take more than 14. We'll continue after this, Jon and Jim. All right, Jim is just screaming at clouds right now. Luke Bryan tickets will give him away at 4:45. Plus, Jim will lose his mind next.
This update's brought to you by Indeed.com. Padres, they have an off day today. They start a 6-game homestand tomorrow night. First up, Dodgers for 3. We'll be at the Naughty Barrel downtown getting you ready for the game. 6:40 first pitch there. Come on by. Say hi. Win some Wonderfront tickets. NBA news. Frank Vogel was fired today as the Phoenix Suns head coach after just 1 season. Patrick Beverley only got a 4-game suspension for chucking a basketball into the stands twice at fans. And Celtics Cavs game 2 of that series. Boston up on the Cavs in the first quarter, 18-15, 4:19 left in the first there. Boston leads that series 1-0. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tools let you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit. John's ready to pounce.
I'm not. I'm not. We just said there was. We should really do a show during the commercials. It might be better than the show. Here's what I say: 877-767-4760. I'll just pose it this way, which gives you the benefit. If they win a World Series with Manny on the team, does he get a statue? And I'm with the people on our YouTube chat saying Peter Seidler gets a statue. All for it. Let's talk players. We can have that conversation another day. Let's talk players. 877-767-4760. But here, floor is yours. If you want to finish off your statement, and I'm not going to pounce. Just. Well, I mean, how would you like to wrap? You're saying
if they win a World Series with Manny Machado on the team, boom, statue. Mm-hmm. I say it's like that is
not enough,
not even close. Okay, if you told me this, whenever they win a World Series, if they win a World Series and he's on it,
yep.
He's got to be like the main guy. He's got to win like a World Series MVP, and he's got to be like Bryce Harper was in the NLCS last year versus the Padres. If they win a World Series and he's not even the World Series MVP, he goes 1 for 21 in the series. Like, oh, it's awesome. Who cares if they won the World Series? But that doesn't mean just because they won it, and he's going to make the Hall of Fame potentially one day. Boom, statue. You got to go above and beyond. You have to be extra. You have to do things that, at the end of his career, you look back and be like, like, man, there's nothing bad I could say about that career with his time here. And already since 2019, John,
there are bad things you could say.
there are things about Manny Machado that you're like, I don't know.
How are you going to remember AJ Preller's time as GM if they win a World Series? It's going to change the conversation, will it not?
Oh man, if we're giving Manny a statue, then just like Preller gets a statue. Profar, screw it. Yeah, I mean, if now you got to give Kevin Towers a statue. You should give Adrian Gonzalez a statue. You should give Caminetti a statue.
No, hold on. I understand some of what you're saying is completely valid. I'm talking right now. We can
take
executives and broadcasters and owners out of it for a second. That's that's a whole nother conversation. There's merits for we could have that. I'm talking about players. I'm talking about players.
Here is what you do at the end of Manny's career. And now we're done with this after this. I'm done.
Photo.
I'm done.
Bobblehead day.
This is what you do. And there won't be a statue. There won't be any of that thing for him, right? He makes the Hall of Fame. Guess what? Cool. You get your number retired here in San Diego. Boom. Easy. Done. That to me is almost just as good as getting a statue. So
okay, so you're willing to wait. So you're willing then to retire his number regardless of if they win a World Series.
He makes the Hall of Fame and he goes in as a San Diego Padre. He's getting his number retired. That's right now at this point in time. Things obviously could change. He could go on a tear and win 2 MVPs and win a World Series MVP. Then we can talk about other things there. But at this moment in time, with the trajectory of his career, which is pointed directly at the Hall of Fame, if he continues to put up the numbers that he's putting up as a third baseman, 30 home runs a year, close to 3,000 hits, however many Gold Gloves he's going to win, right? All-star games, all that, right? Cool. Hall of Fame, amazing. Mm-hmm. He's going in with the Padres cap on.
I'm listening.
You're getting your number retired, and that to me, at this point in time, is the farthest I'll go.
Sure. So the numbers that are retired right now, Garvey.
And that is even one that you're like, I don't know about that one.
Gwynn, Winfield, who has the Padres hat in the Hall of Fame, or does he not?
I think so.
I feel like he does. Am I wrong?
I'm probably wrong on this one, but
are we wrong on that?
Maybe.
The first player to enter Cooperstown as a Padre, Dave
Winfield. Yeah.
Okay. Randy Jones, his number's retired. Mm-hmm. To your point. Okay. First Padre player to win a coveted Cy Young. Yeah. So are you going to retire Joe's number? First player to throw a no-hitter?
No.
Okay. And then Jackie Robinson and Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball's all-time saves.
And he'll make the Padres Hall of Fame too. There you go.
Getting your number retired and getting a statue that's like a few notches below getting a statue.
Yeah.
You know, the Lakers probably retired AC Green's number, but he's not going to get a damn statue out in front of Crypto.
But there's a lot of monuments in Monument Park that coincide with those retired numbers. So, listen, I understand what you each are saying.
How do we even get here?
I'm not sure.
How do we get it?
It's a Padres off day.
I'm just saying, don't rule out the possibility of Machado statue if things come to fruition.
Oh, you asked a question
what was it?
Will there ever be another Tony Gwynn in San Diego?
Right, you're like no, and I completely agree. But there could be players that end up in Hall of Fames.
Yep.
There could be players that win World Series. And guess what? There can also be, Jim, because there's a good chance when you and I die, which is either in 5 minutes or in 50 years, there's a good chance, Jim, if you live another 50 years, there's another Padre statue. Because that's how sports work.
I hope
50 years is a long time.
I hope there is.
There's a very good chance of it.
I hope there is.
I don't think they're done from a franchise perspective erecting statues.
And you know what? I know you're gonna be like, well, Trevor Hoffman, but Trevor Hoffman got traded here. Very early on in his career.
Absolutely.
With the Marlins, right?
Right, converted infielder.
Yeah. He never played a game with the Marlins, correct? He started his time here in San Diego.
Is that accurate?
Those are Tony and
no, he played for the Marlins. Good call.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
28 games.
I was gonna say, like, Tony and Trevor, like, those are kind of like homegrown guys essentially here.
Yeah.
To an extent. Fair. Manny's not.
Games changed.
Well,
things happen. That alone isn't a reason, is it?
It's not a reason, but it would definitely help his chances for you to see this statue one day. Is if
for me to see the statue,
like, I don't know. Anyway.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, here's the number I want you to call if you want to win Luke Bryan
What a
tickets.
conversation on an off
I think
day.
it's a very good conversation. I would have it for another 6 hours. All right, 877-767-4760. We'll hear from AJ Preller, by the way, coming up at 5 p.m. with Darren Smith if you missed that conversation earlier today. But if you want Luke Bryan tickets, here's the number to call. 877-767-4760. A great giveaway. August 8th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. 2 free tickets to see a great act. Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. Here's the number to call one more time. 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, we've got Trainwreck Radio. That's trivia on the other side. Plus, if you missed Darren Smith with AJ Preller earlier today, you'll hear from the Padres general manager coming up at 5 p.m. Stay with us. up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere, whether you're stepping out of the car, settling in at home. Are you laughing? Just ask ask your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760 or stream it live through the iHeartRadio app. It's never been easier to stay connected with your favorite shows like Jon and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go. That's all I have to say.
What are you looking at me like that for?
I don't know. Now you're going to hear from AJ Preller coming up at 5 p.m. We have Wonderfront tickets to give away tomorrow. Please join us from the Naughty Barrel. You have to be on site. We'll give them away every hour, beginning at noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hours. Your chances to win Wonderfront tickets. This is Sunday's tickets. Beck is performing. The Roots are performing. There's some really good acts. So it's right in San Diego on the harbor. So if you want to win free tickets, you'll have the chance to do that with us tomorrow. Is to get you ready for Padres and Dodgers, what I like to call the statue series.
You and your statues, man.
Kidding.
What'd the text line say about me?
I don't know. So, okay,
you
real
hate
quick.
statues?
Yeah, someone said 631 says, I'm getting the impression Jim just hates statues. I wrote back and said, you misspelled everything.
No, it's not.
And he wrote back, ha, ha, ha. No, I get your point. You're saying it's got to be, and I get Brent's point. I'm not arguing with the point. It's really got to be a cut above. How many players have ever played for the Padres in 60 years? A lot, and they have 2 statues. So the point is, it's at a premium.
Yeah,
they've retired how many numbers other than Jackie Robinson? 5.
Just because Manny Machado is considered a star player and he signed a big contract here and he's put up really good numbers. I mean,
that's not enough.
Not enough.
Not
my
enough.
eyes.
No.
And that's not. It's not. And by the way, guys, if you think that's an indictment on Manny, it's not. Okay, it's not me bashing Manny at all. It's just I'm saying that to get to that level, which Jon thinks that he can do very easily.
No, I think he can. I said if they win a World Series.
But that's, to me, it's just not enough, man.
I believe, and we'll see if I'm ever proven right. We'll see if they ever win a World Series. I believe you're devaluing what a World Series here specifically will mean.
You know how many teams have won their first World Series and players not even sniff statues?
Well, yeah, sure, because every team has won a World Series at some point, or 25 of them, right? Well, so not like every single team that's won their first World Series then has a statue, but there's a lot of circumstances in there. Some franchises have 27 titles.
I think the Marlins are giving Josh Beckett a World Series statue for being as dominant.
I'm not sure is Josh Beckett in the Hall of Fame, though. I don't think he is.
He's not.
I heard the Plinko machine was dedicated to him.
Oh, they took that down, though.
Oh,
so screw you. Yeah, I mean, do the Marlins even have statues?
Not anymore.
Why not?
They have more statues than fans.
they have an A-Rod statue.
They put the dude. All right, let's play. I'm done with this conversation.
Me too.
More on it in 5 minutes.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Ron and Mark. Ron, you called in first. So you have your choice of Jim the statue hater or Jon. What? Who do you want to go with?
Jim.
Wow, Ron and Jim.
I see what Brent did there.
Yeah.
I like that. Ron, you get me. Mark, you get Jon, okay?
All right.
All right, Brent, what's today's question of the day?
How many players have statues? I'm joking. All right, guys.
Easy.
The Celtics and Cavs are underway in Game 2 of the NBA playoffs right now. Today's question, can you name anybody in the top 10 scorers in Celtics postseason history? So we're looking for the top 10 scorers in Celtics postseason history.
All right.
They have a lot of postseason history.
That is a list.
That's a list right there. Mark, you're up first, and you do have your lifeline if you want to use it, or you can guess. What do you got?
I'm going to go Larry Bird.
Larry
Bird.
Bird.
Good guess.
Larry Legend on
Larry
the list.
Legend's on the list, yeah. Ron, you're up next. What is your first guess? And you can use your lifeline if you want to use it.
Yeah, let me use the lifeline.
Ooh, lifeline first.
There's so many.
There's about 10 guys on this list.
I'll go, screw it. Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish?
You take that?
Is he top 10? Take that, Rob?
There you go. Robert Parrish.
Great job, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you. Is he like 10th, Brent?
No, the Chief is 6th.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
Mark, you're up next. What's your second guess, or you do have a lifeline if you want to use it?
I'll go Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Okay. Didn't score a lot, but He did score.
He scored enough.
Enough to get in the top 10.
He didn't score a lot. What, for his career?
Like he wasn't a 25. He didn't average like
What was his
28
average?
points a game.
Bill Russell?
I mean, he averaged like 25 rebounds a game.
Right.
Sometimes
He had 2,673 points in the playoffs.
that's a lot.
How many points? I'm just curious now.
What's
He
that
averaged for his career 15.1 points per game,
Yeah, it was not a big score.
but 19 rebounds per game.
It's a different league, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's up now? Ron, you're up next. What's your second guess? You don't have your lifeline, so it's all up to you, man.
Drew Pearson.
Oh, not on the list. Mark, you could win it right here with the correct answer. You do still have your lifeline, so what do you got, man?
I got let's go Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, top 10 with all these games. He is on the list. That makes sense.
Mark,
Modern
you win.
basketball with all these long
Yeah.
series. I'm guessing he's either 8th, 9th, or 10th.
I mean, he had a 50 burger last year.
He's 8th.
Okay. He's 8th. So he has a chance to finish like, I mean, who the hell knows?
How many points did he have against it was against the Sixers. And I think didn't he have like 58 points? It was some crazy number.
A year ago?
A year
Yeah, I
ago,
remember
yeah.
that. Yeah. All right. Who's on this list?
All right, Larry Legend is number 1. He had just under 3,900 points.
39,000 would be
Yeah, I know. I
amazing.
screwed up. You get a statue then. I think he already has one.
Yeah.
John Havlicek is 2. Kevin McHale was 3. Sam Jones 4. Paul Pierce was 5.
Yep.
Like I said, Parrish was 6. Bill Russell was 7. Tatum was 8. Tom Hennoslin, if I said that name wrong, but he's number 9. And then Jaylen Brown is number 10.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Very.
No Bob Cousy, no
Kuzi is 11th.
no McHale.
Wow. No, McHale was on the list?
Oh,
or
he
no?
was.
McHale was 3rd.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
I
Yeah,
was
good
not
job,
listening, yeah.
Jim's looking at statues in Major League Baseball. All right. Congratulations to our winner. Who won? Who won, bro?
Mark won.
Mark, congratulations, our winner. You have won 2 free tickets to see Luke Bryan, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. This will be August 8th. Concert Week is here. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. That's up to 75% off on sale now through May 14th, 1 week, to get $25 concert and comedy tickets and fill your summer with shows. To get your tickets, go to livenation.com/concert week. That's livenation.com/concert week. We will learn more about Luis Arraez's preparation for hitting. Arguably as good of a hitter for average as there is in the game right now. Also, we'll hear on the other side from AJ Preller with Darren Smith earlier today. If you missed that conversation, go to sportssd.com. We'll share portions of that conversation with you on the other side. What are you laughing at, Jim?
Quan in our YouTube chat says, give Tony Hawk a statue.
Well, I mean, maybe not for the Padres, but probably for skateboarding.
Well, he is the main face on all of the City Connect Jersey
Right.
Night video packages.
If the Convadium got built, well, he was anti-Convadium, right?
Yeah, because remember, we didn't need the team because we had Blink 182
And the
according
Sun.
to him.
What does he
Yeah,
say?
and the Sun.
He says something in Spanish and he goes, feel the rhythm. And then it's like very cringy.
Oh, at the beginning of the City
yeah.
Connect. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
He's like,
Statue.
it's like, feel the rhythm. I'm like,
Now, what uniform would Manny wear? That's a
stop.
On the other side, you'll hear from AJ
Orioles.
Preller. Plus, let's learn a little bit more about Luis Arraez. Plus, Jim's back page. Hour 3 now.
Uncle Teddy gets a statue.
He should.
All right, this update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Padres off day today. They start a 6-game homestand tomorrow versus the Dodgers. We'll be at the Naughty Barrel downtown starting at noon with the Darren Smith Show and Marty, followed by us at 3 p.m. till 6 p.m., getting you ready for Padres and Dodgers. NBA news today, Frank Vogel was fired today as the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, lasting only 1 year there. Patrick Beverley, for throwing a basketball into the stands twice, got suspended for 4 games. And right now, Boston and Cleveland, game 2 of their Eastern Conference semifinal matchup. Boston leads the Cavaliers 51-45 with 3:40 left in the first half there. And later tonight, game 2 of the Western Conference semis between the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks, with the OKC Thunder leading that series 1-0. Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale is here. Save up to $500 on select adjustable bed sets like the all-new Tempur Adapt collection with advanced pressure relief to help reduce aches and pains. Plus, get a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Hurry into Mattress Firm today.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Jon and Jim. And oh, by the way, if you thought you missed your chance to win Luke Bryan tickets, you're wrong.
Oh,
we will
so
give away
wrong.
Luke Bryan tickets this segment. Remember the ESPN This is Sports Center ad? Mom, I'm done with my segment.
No.
Yeah.
Who was the, who was the, he's since passed.
It was the
John Clayton.
Yeah, because
he's like a teenage, he's acting like he's a teenage boy in the basement or whatever.
Mom, I'm doing my segment.
No, because the best part of it was when he finished his hit or whatever, he turned around. No, he was wearing like a Slayer shirt.
Yeah.
He's like rocking out.
I don't even know why I thought of that. Because I said the word segment, which I don't normally say. Anyway, let's just say this. In the next 20 minutes or less, we'll give away Luke Bryan tickets.
Okay.
So we'll do that. So be listening for your chance. We're going to do that in the next 20 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Now, Jim had a very interesting tweet earlier today. I know that sounds like an oxymoron. It's not. He has a lot of very interesting tweets. You do. You're very good on social media.
Aw.
You are. Better than I am.
Should I get a statue for it?
I will now punch you in the nose. If I punch you and you get a black eye before the wedding, you will be livid.
And Aaron will murder you.
Well, we could just cut you out or crop in different photos.
Just a bunch of makeup on my face.
These guys have been lights out for their teams. MLB tweeted out a graphic, 10 guys that have been lights out pitchers for their teams.
Top 10 pitchers in baseball, according to an expert panel from MLB.com.
So where's Dylan Cease on that list in the top 10? Is he second?
It's a great
fourth?
Probably I would say like third,
five.
second, maybe fourth, right? Fourth. Yeah, he's not even on the list, John.
Dylan Cease is not on the list of top 10 pitcher power rankings.
Nope.
With his 128 opponent batting average.
Here is the top 10 pitchers in baseball right now, according to these MLB.com experts. And these things are always so stupid, and I never take them seriously at all. Even my tweet today was just, I don't really care on. It's not like there's something I'm going to get super worked up over, but it is funny.
Okay.
Because I put like Major League Baseball does no ball, sad. Because you have these guys on this list, and it's like Dylan Cease has got.
It's got to be on this.
Got to be on this list.
Got to be.
It's not the end all be all. I'm not going to be upset about it, but John might.
Yep.
They say Zach Wheeler right now is pitching the best in all of baseball.
Okay, that's fine. The Philly staff has been amazing.
Tarek
Skubal
for the Detroit Tigers. I don't know what he's doing, but okay.
Apparently, he's better than Dylan Cease.
Tyler Glasnow
Has been great.
Shota Imanaga
Has been great.
Ranger Suarez
Has been great.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto
Has been great against everyone but the Padres.
Corbin Burns.
I'm sure has been good.
Logan Gilbert.
Better than Lauren Gilbert.
Oh my God. Jared Jones for the Pirates.
I'm pretty sure that's the new Aztec center.
And Jose Barrios.
Jared Coleman Jones, right? So Dylan Cease didn't make this list.
That's not great. Yeah.
So what do you want to say? I mean, what are you going to, you don't have a diatribe to go off on? You don't have to be better Major League Baseball?
Well, here's the thing. In all of baseball right now, Dylan Cease is second in WAR, only behind Zach Wheeler.
So you think he should be on the top 10 list?
Easily.
Obviously, he's top, like you said, he's top 3 pitcher in baseball right now.
Maybe, and I'll give some, I get not credit, but maybe baseball created this list before yesterday's outing. Even though it got tweeted out today.
He had like a 2.2 ERA heading into yesterday.
Like it's got, I don't know what. And these never,
it's a list.
Never, ever get worked up over these types of lists.
We always do.
I'm not getting worked up about it.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're stupid. That's all.
No, I agree.
And it's a stupid list. And if you think those lists mean anything, then
right. I mean, no players ever in contract negotiations be like, hey, MLB on May 8th said I was a top 4 power pitcher. Well, it's content, Jim.
Yeah, no, it's the content that we use, and
it's always the worst though when you see these lists that are like, and this is agreed.
It's in a blatant.
But I hate when I see a list like best professional teams per state, and then they show like California, and it'll be like, yays, stop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Those are almost like lists that try to get interaction because they're so dumb. They're absurdly dumb. They're almost supposed to be dumb. I don't think this list was supposed to be dumb. It's almost like they just omitted Dylan Cease.
Well, that list is dumb.
No, but there are some good pitchers on that list.
Very good pitchers.
But Dylan Cease should be included in that group today.
I'm sorry, Dylan Cease right now is pitching like a top 5 pitcher in all baseball.
Easily. All right, so AJ Preller, by the way, join us tomorrow at Naughty Barrel, because we will give away Wonderfront tickets, 2 blocks from Petco Park. We'll give them away. You need to be there to win every single hour. Darren Smith Show and Jon Jim. Wonderfront tickets for Sunday. Join us tomorrow from the Naughty Barrel as you get you ready for Padres and Dodgers Game 1. So AJ Preller was with Darren Smith earlier today. It's a really good conversation. You need to check it out in its entirety at sportsSD.com. Let's start with some of the positives that we touched on a few hours ago. And there are 2 huge bright spots for this offense right now, Jake Cronenworth and Jurickson Profar. So let's start with Croney.
Give Cronezone some love.
Cronezone some love.
Cronezone some love.
I love now. Pause.
I love it.
It's amazing.
It's one of my favorites from Schulte.
So good. All right, here's Preller on Cronezone.
Yeah, I mean, I think with these things, like, Jake, he's a good player, and I think he's credit to him. He went home this off season and basically looked himself and said, I got to make some adjustments. He definitely has made some swing adjustments, some mechanical adjustments. And he's gotten off to a really good start. He's hitting the ball well. He's using the field. He's a tremendous defender. He continues to be an absolute weapon for us at first base, and somebody that's a difference maker from that standpoint. Again, last year too, we got into he was starting to get going offensively, and then he got hit with the pitch, and had the broken bone. So exactly where he would have ended up last year, we'll see. But again, that's part of the deal, is when you believe in players, and we believe in a group that's here. There's going to be some, at times some peaks and valleys. Hopefully we're able to limit that. But over the course of years, guys that are good players, that's going to show up. And Jake's responded really well, and he's played really good baseball here in the first 40 games for us.
All right, so here's some numbers from Cronezone right here.
Cronezone.
These are according to Fangraphs, John. All right, Fangraphs is a pretty reputable site. We have
it's just data. So
I know it's data. We have
exactly.
Dan Zaborski on all the time.
Right.
Right now in the National League, I'm just using National League, not using all baseball, just National League. He is second in WAR overall for first baseman.
Okay.
The only person ahead of him is Christian Walker of Arizona.
Okay.
All right. He's tied in WAR with Bryce Harper. He's ahead of guys like Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, Rhys Hoskins, Matt Olson, who's having a not great season so far, Paul Goldschmidt, old friend Josh Bell.
So where is he in WAR in the National League in general? You don't have that.
I don't have that. Hold on. Let me do this real quick here. All positions. Right now, John. WAR, he is 17th in all of baseball.
Oh, wow.
17th.
That's just position players?
Position players.
Okay.
I believe, yeah, Jay Cronenworth has the highest WAR of any position player on the Padres this season.
Higher than Jurickson.
Higher than Jurickson. Higher than Toddy. Yeah, really good. Really good. Some other numbers here. Let me just pull this back up. First baseman. He has the second most RBIs of any first baseman in the National League. All right. He has the second best overall batting average of any first baseman in the National League. He has the second best slugging percentage of any first baseman in the National League.
So what are you saying?
He has the the third best WRC plus in the National League. And his offensive WAR is the second best in the National League.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is
an average year.
Give Crone Zone some love right now.
Okay, that's fair.
He's having a amazing season for coming off of the year he had last year, and this is a huge reason why this team has a top 10 offense, is because Jake Cronenworth is performing like a top flight offensive first baseman in baseball. That is a premium position for power and get big time numbers. And Jake Cronenworth is right now performing like one of the best in baseball.
Okay, so that's a long way of saying Jake Cronenworth's been very good. Then there's Jurickson Profar. We'll see what WRC plus numbers Jim can find over the next 60 seconds as we hear about Jurickson Profar's fast start this year.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. He's played some good baseball in San Diego. You know, I think sometimes some guys are comfortable in certain environments. He's got, you know, I think with some players that he's around every day, Manny and Tatis, they've got a good thing where they're very honest with each other. And Jurickson is he's a very competitive player, and I think he enjoys the atmosphere playing around these guys. I can tell even early on. You know, the other day when he hit the home run on Tuesday, he likes being around Luis Arraez, and their energy is gonna click. And you know, again, he's somebody that's went this off season and, you know, worked out in the Dominican, made some swing adjustments, but also went and played winter ball. So I think you're seeing a guy, you know, still a young, whatever is 31, 32 years old, whatever Jurickson is right now. He's a guy that wants to get better, wants to keep growing, and gotten off to a good start in the year so far as well. And I think part of that's being comfortable here in San Diego. He loves it here. He's played well here. He likes the team, and, you know, somebody also had something to prove coming into this year, and he's gotten off to a good start.
Are you ready?
All right, I need to hear his BABIP. I need BABIP, night game BABIP numbers, Jim. Give it to me.
So you were thinking to yourself, like, Profar is probably what, like second or third maybe in all of left fielders in the National League? Nah.
Number one, according to Fangraphs,
as far as offensive players in left field this year. And it's like not even that close, really. Jurickson Profar right now, his offensive WAR, John, according to Fangraphs, is 12.8. That leads the National League for all left fielders. Okay.
What does that even mean?
The second best player is Teoscar Hernandez with an 8.3 offensive WAR. His overall WAR this year, and I take that back, Jake Cronenworth is a 1.3. Jurickson Profar is better. I thought.
Oh, you said Cronenworth was the player on the team.
After all that, I was mistaken. It's actually Profar is 1.6 WAR on the team. His BABIP, John, you want to know his BABIP?
It's BABIP, but yes.
BABIP.
Batting average on balls in play.
Right.
480.
BABIP.
450.
352.
Oh, really?
It leads the National League and for left fielders. His WRC plus, John, right here, is 172 when league average is like 100.
Not like 100, it is 100.
He leads all of left fielders in slugging percentage.
Okay.
He leads all left fielders in on-base percentage.
We get it.
He leads all left fielders in batting average.
Profar's been good and Cronenworth's been good.
Shut up, nerd!
Yeah, I'm a stats guy, and this is way too many stats.
No.
Yes,
give you
way
more.
too many.
You want to know?
No, I want nothing else.
No. Do you want to know all of baseball, John?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have build a statue and put it on top of you, so I don't have to hear this anymore.
Hold on. No. So you're thinking to yourself, wow, who's the best players in all of baseball for offensive WAR? Juan Soto's the best with 17.4 offensive WAR.
Ohtani.
Kyle Tucker, second. Our boy Jurickson Profar is third.
Wow.
He's
great.
the third best player in baseball in the outfield.
History. All right. Here was AJ Preller.
Nerd.
Here's AJ Preller. I don't know what you're even. That's not reacting to what AJ Preller's saying. Like AJ Preller says he's been really good. Like his WRC plus BABIP is 352.
Because Preller's like, yeah, he's had a nice season.
As you're saying, no, it's even better.
I'm saying that Jurickson Profar has had like
he's
out of
been
this
awesome.
world season so far.
He has.
I mean, these numbers that I'm looking at, and I just read, just word vomited everywhere.
Yes.
Sorry, I apologize if I put anybody to sleep there.
You have,
Yeah,
including me.
What it is saying is that Jurickson Profar is performing like one of the best players in all of baseball.
What? Oh, now I'm completely at a loss for words. I didn't realize that. That's what it's saying. All right, here's more from AJ Preller on injuries. I don't even want to hear from
I'm going
him.
to make you speak more at my wedding.
Here's AJ Preller on the injuries that you, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove have suffered through, and the balance here with it being a long year, but keeping these guys healthy.
It's an individual situation. I think at the end of the day, you just look at each player in their spot and kind of how they're feeling, how they're doing. And, also, you gotta understand it's a long year. So I think, at least with Darvish early in the season, we probably were, erred on the side of caution and just, looking more at the full season. And I think with Joe, same thing with this situation. And I think, there may be different times based on how they're presenting, what they're saying, where we're at in the season, that you'll have a different conversation, but we're never going to put somebody's, health at risk or anything like that, career at risk, just to go win, one game. And, there's a lot of conversation with doctors, medical team, trainers, and then, coaches and obviously the player. And, that's, ultimately in these two cases with Darvish and Musgrove, we made a decision that both for, mainly for them and then for our team, it was better to, take some downtime right now. We find out about some other guys and see some other guys step up. And then also just kind of get these guys to where we're not chasing it all year, from a health standpoint. And hopefully, it worked out so far here for you and hopefully with Joe, the same thing. And we're in a good spot here in the next couple of weeks when Joe comes back.
Jurickson Profar's fielding run value. His barrel percentage this year
is what?
It actually, for whatever reason, is only 39%.
Swing the bat, bro.
Somehow.
Shut up.
But you, Darvish, Joe Musgrove, you got to be careful, but you're going to need them. And they've been careful, and they're going to need them. And they got Darvish back, and now they need to get Musgrove
Why didn't
back.
you like my stat breakdown?
I don't know. It was too much.
But I'm just overloading you with how good these players have been.
Here's the reason why. You want to know the truth?
Because it's boring.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like pretending like I'm a listener.
So wait. Oh, so anybody out there that constantly revolves their talk around statistics all the time is boring. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Are you saying that's me?
No. I could think of people that maybe you could.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're saying basically if you go on talk radio and you just blabber out stats left and right, it's considered boring?
I don't even know where you're going. I have no idea where you're going.
I'm just
asking you.
I'm asking you, yes or no?
What the reason I found it interesting is that's not normally your style.
I know. So then once I do something out of the norm, you're like,
I was like, is something wrong with you?
Whoa.
Brent, Brent could be the mediator here. Did Jim go a bit far with the stats or no? You can be honest.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, a little bit. That's fine. That's not too far.
Which one like kind of pushed it over the edge?
I'm not sure. It was like the 19th stat.
It was the BABIP. Huh?
Maybe the BABIP.
After like the first 6, my brain just kind of started to shut off.
That's where I was.
It was offensive war too. Because you're like, what?
Okay. But here's the kicker.
Shut up, nerd!
Here's the kicker. There's Xander Bogaerts. We've talked some good, right? Profar, Crony. You heard from Jim. They've been very good. Better than very good. Then there's Bogey. Don't get Jim started in where he is among the poorer offensive players in baseball, but he's going to go down that tangent, which is fine. Here is Preller on Bogaerts.
Xander will be the first one to tell you he holds himself accountable, and he's as honest as any player we have on the roster. And he expects more. He knows at the end of the day, what he's capable of, and it's definitely not for a lack of effort right now. Like, he's in there every single day trying to figure this out. And sometimes some guys can do too much. Sometimes some guys may need a mechanical tweak, etc. So it feels like to me from Xander hasn't quite found from a balance standpoint offensively. Kind of figuring out like, hey, where he's at, being behind the baseball, driving the baseball. I think it's more Victor's area, and from the offensive side, and I know Xander's working on that. Again, it's in the positional element of it. I don't really feel like that's the case seeing it. I think it's more of an offensive thing, and he had some some of this in the summer months last year, and I think the good news at the end of the day was he had a great second half, and a huge September, and and the numbers ended up being there. And I think with Xander, he's got a lot of physical ability. Probably the biggest thing is he cares about this team, the city, his teammates. Sometimes you almost look at it like maybe he tries too hard at times to kind of live up to and to what probably his expectations, but he's going to figure it out. I feel with a lot of confidence in that. And I think probably the bright spot for our standpoint is there's going to be a lot of hits coming because he's that type of hitter, and there's a lot of belief in Xander in the building as we go forward.
Okay, so Xander's WRC plus. Whatever.
Yeah, I know what you say. He's been bad.
It's all bad.
Yeah,
it's all bad. There's not any good stat out there for Xander offensively that's a good stat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there isn't. Not even his BABIP. Not anything. It's all bad. It's all top. It's all bottom 5 in all of baseball for second baseman, and really bottom half of all baseball for every single player out there. This team is going to need Xander, especially if he's hitting in the middle of this lineup. If you move Xander down to like 7 or 8, then I wouldn't say they need him as badly as they would need him if he's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You would agree with that?
Yes.
So either he starts performing, or eventually I think they're going to have to move him down even farther in the lineup.
Like 8, 9.
Not 9th, but I would say 7th or 8th.
Yep.
Because you cannot continue to have Xander, because the top of this lineup right now, John, with Arraez, Toddy, Cronenworth, Manny.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of traffic on the base path with those 4 guys. You got a guy that never strikes out. Cronenworth has played out of his mind this year. Tatis, he's going to get on base more often than not. Manny, eventually, I think he's going to get up there, and his on-base percentage will get higher.
So wait, are you saying you don't want Bogaerts anywhere near these dudes because they're on base?
Well, you're going to be having a lot of guys in runner and scoring position, and do you want Xander up there trying to get those guys in, is my point.
Well, your point is valid, but if we actually feel that way, we have massive problems.
Well, that's how I feel.
Then it's a problem. No matter where he bats.
But I know it's a problem, John. It's not like something changed overnight. It's been that way. Every time Xander goes to the plate, I feel like
batting him 8th doesn't fix it.
Well, at least you're not putting him in more opportunities to bat with runners in scoring position.
At that point, he shouldn't play. But I get your point.
Well, I know.
Yes,
you're playing him regardless. You have to find somewhere to put him. And to me, right now, this best lineup is not with Xander hitting 5th or 6th. It's with Xander hitting 7th or 8th. You need to have your best guys in the position when there's probably going to be a lot of runners in scoring position. You need to have the top 4, which is never going to change, whether healthy: Arraez, Tatis, Cronenworth, Machado, then Profar, probably Campusano, and then I would go maybe Jackson Merrill or Xander Bogaerts, flip in between 7, 8, and then whoever hits 9th would be Ha-Seong Kim, or you have Ha-Seong Kim, Jackson Merrill, and Xander Bogaerts in any order from 7 to 9.
All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater August 8th. Caller 7, they are yours. 767-4760. 2 free tickets to see Luke Bryan at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater August 8th. Great giveaway. Caller 7, you have 2 free tickets. 877-767-4760. Kevin Acee on Luis Arraez and his hitting style. We'll share that with you next on Jon and Jim. All right. Why is Luis Arraez so good at hitting the baseball? We'll try to answer that next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Indeed.com. Padres, they're back in action tomorrow night at Petco Park to start a 3-game series with the Dodgers. 6:40 first pitch there. Michael King will be on the mound for the Padres against Tyler Glasnow of the Dodgers. We'll be at the Naughty Barrel starting at 3 p.m. Come on and hang out with us. We're giving away Wonderfront tickets. You got to be there to win. Moving over to NBA news. Frank Vogel, he is out as the Suns head coach after just one season. Patrick Beverley, after throwing a basketball in the stands twice, got only a 4-game suspension. And with 9:54 left in the third quarter, the Cavs lead the Celtics 62-57 in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinal series there. And later tonight, Thunder take on the Mavericks, 6:30 p.m. tip-off. Thunder lead that series 1-0. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solutions help you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit today.
Stay connected with San Diego Sports 760. No matter where you are, whether you're stepping out of your car or settling in at home, just command your Google or Alexa smart speaker to play AM 760. Or use the free iHeartRadio app for seamless listening. It's like having your favorite station right in your pocket. Do you know who Malcolm Gladwell is? That's a question that you would either answer with a yes if you do know who he is, or a no if you don't.
Fashion guy.
Okay, Brent says fashion guy. Malcolm Gladwell. Brent. No, you're Brent. Jim. Malcolm Gladwell is a person. Correct. Yes. Okay, so neither of you. Malcolm Gladwell is the author. There's a person. Exactly. The Outliers.
Is it human?
Books. I don't know how to describe them. Like theories. Anyway, the 10,000 hour theory. This idea that if you do something a lot, you're better at it than someone that doesn't do it a lot. If I play piano from a very young age, there's a good chance I'm going to be better than you if you start later in life. Why? Because I put more work into it. It is a long way of me saying, I actually thought you may know who Malcolm Gladwell was.
You said Malcolm X, but yeah.
Different people. Different people. Anyway, it's a long way of me saying this, that Kevin Acee and talking to Luis Arraez, all these guys are good. They've reached the major leagues. Yeah. They're the top 1% of the top 1%.
Even Xander's really good. He's not playing good right now.
Right. I mean, they've all reached a ridiculous level of baseball, right? But this is that 10,000 hour theory when the 1% emerge to the top of the 1% of the 1%, like Luis Arraez. This is what he does in terms of practicing. He travels with a batting tee.
Love it. And
a short bat in a backpack and spends several minutes each day on FaceTime with his personal hitting coach, Frank Valdez, in his hotel room or at home without a ball. Arraez moves the tee to various spots and focuses on the various aspects of his swing. This is atypical stuff. Okay, not everyone is walking around with a tee and a short bat at their Hyatt Hotel in Boston.
Yeah, that is like next level.
Right. To hit like this, you got to do next level stuff.
But here's also the thing. He can do all this stuff, and he can still be a 250 hitter.
Very possible. You have to have an innate ability also.
Like what Xander's going through right now is he's trying to do everything possible, working his ass off every single day to try to get him out of this horrific slump to start his season, except it's just not working. Mm-hmm. Like he just can't take what he's doing before games and have it translate in games.
Sure.
So to have what a Luis Arraez does all the time translate into games, like my hard work here and what I am doing translates into me being one of the best hitters in the game, is a crazy good accomplishment. Because
it's not as easy as saying
it's not as easy as let's just work harder.
Yeah, I could carry a basketball with me every single day. I might be better dribbling than I previously was. I'm not playing in the NBA.
I could carry a microphone every day, and
yeah, exactly. No, it's a good point, but it does speak to this. Like sometimes the way people emerge, even at the top of a profession, is they just outwork people. Yeah. And Luis Arraez isn't just outworking people, which I'm sure he's done. He also has that innate bat ball ability, hand-eye coordination that a lot of people don't have. But sometimes there's not a secret is the point. Like sometimes the secret is the work. Now, to our point off the top of the show at 3 p.m. and what you just said, sometimes with baseball, you try too hard.
Yeah.
There's that fine line. With golf, you try too hard. You can't get back to your swing from 3 years ago, whether it's baseball or with golf. So there is a fine line. For Luis Arraez, as a 27-year-old, it's worked out. For Xander Bogaerts, it was working out through age 27. It hasn't worked out here. He's got to go find it.
Like I'm not even close to a really good golfer. I'm fine. I like to play golf.
Yep.
Runs in my family. But I know myself, and I know that like if I started to ramp it up and practice every single day instead of maybe like once or twice a week that I do, then it would start to get in my head. And I would be like, why is what I'm doing on the range not translating to on the course? And I would start becoming this psycho because I've done it before.
Sure.
I'm not trying to relate me to Xander Bogaerts at all because he's a million times better athlete than I'll ever be in my entire life. I'm just saying I kind of get it where sometimes you just kind of need to let go and not think at all. Like when you think, sometimes you could think too much and it could hurt you. And I feel like that's where Xander's at. He's probably thinking too much about needing to do the right thing, and it's just not happening. And it's causing this downward spiral in his season so far.
Yeah, I've always said specifically with baseball that it feels like some of the guys that just, I don't know, like there's a fine line here, but some of these guys, they just can do it because they don't overthink anything. Others use all the data and all the prep to their advantage because they just don't have the innate ability to fall out of bed and hit. So it's hard with baseball. There's no one answer. Like basketball, I'm telling you right now, you shoot more jump shots, you'll be a better jump shooter.
That's the same in basketball. You keep shooting.
But in baseball, you take more swings doesn't mean you're a better hitter.
You know who I bet right now has literally zero thought at the plate? Jurickson Profar.
None whatsoever. He's going up there.
Jake Cronenworth.
It's right, exactly.
Shohei Ohtani. Mookie Betts. Right?
Probably true.
Though, I mean, obviously they're thinking about what pitches are going to come.
I kind of thought Jackson Merrill was like that to start the year. Just adrenaline, just whatever. House money.
But I guarantee you they're not thinking of the little things like lifting my leg up or keeping my hands down
Absolutely.
or making sure the bat head's out in front. Like they're not thinking about that. They're seeing and reacting. The problem is with Xander is he's seeing and he's not reacting. He's thinking.
Yeah, that's
and then he's trying to react. And that's the problem. And with Luis Arraez here, he is a special player that he can take all of these thoughts and all of the practice and everything and still go up there and have it all translated on the field.
619, Blake Snell travels with a bunch of Twitch equipment. So like Luis Arraez, Snell travels with Twitch streaming remotes or whatever people do.
He's also traveling with his Cy Young Award too, probably.
Probably true.
Put that on the wall of every hotel room. Like, I did that.
That is true.
Twice.
On the other side, Jim's back page. Stay with us. We've got Jim's back page. It's coming up next. All right, join us tomorrow. Naughty Barrel, downtown, blocks from Petco Park. Ticket giveaways all show long. You got to be there to win. Wonderfront tickets this weekend. Chance to see tons of acts, Go Back, The Roots, and many more. Join us tomorrow downtown at Naughty Barrel. All the food, all the drinks you could possibly imagine. We get underway at 3. Darren Smith Show starts at noon. Padres Dodgers. Oh, yeah, that series. Padres Dodgers. Tomorrow night. 40 game 1.
What? They're playing each other?
They are. 6th time this year.
Big if true.
Big if true. Huge.
Huge if true.
Are you ready for the back page?
Are you ready for the back page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Wendy's, John, is offering free 6-piece chicken nuggets every Wednesday for the rest of the year. Wendy's customers can also score free French fries every Friday at Wendy's. Customers can score free 6-piece nuggets on the Wendy's Wednesdays. Through the end of the year, all fans have to do is make a purchase of any price on the fast food restaurant app or online, and you can snag the freebie.
Too bad it's Thursday.
I was thinking the same thing, but free fries on Friday, he's
Correct,
saying.
yeah.
That's kind of like a trend, though.
It's not the only thing they give away free.
Well, no, Jim being a day behind.
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. What else do they give
every
away?
Friday, fans can score any size French fries for free with any purchase. The deal started on April 19th. It will also continue until the end of 2024.
Is there is that a catch or no? It just kind of gets people through the door and then they buy other things.
Well, Wendy's isn't like, the biggest, like most popular fast food chain.
Wendy's.
Wait, where are they in the rankings? I thought they were like top 3.
I would say the most popular would be McDonald's.
Sure. Are you Taco Bell or something?
I would say
Chick-fil-A, Burger King.
Chick-fil-A is up there for sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't say Burger King.
Okay.
Jack in the Box. I'd say Jack in the Box is ahead of
But
Wendy's.
nationally?
Nationally, yeah.
Wow.
I would
Brent,
say
you have a
Wendy's is between like the 4 and 6 range.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now, just based on sales and stuff like that. McDonald's is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's is 2.
That's what I
Oh,
would've thought,
wow. I
yeah.
was wrong.
Burger King is 3. This is just burger places.
This is my personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah, this is just burgers, not so
Okay.
like Chick-fil-A and
Okay,
okay.
I only did a search for burger places because that's what we're specifically talking about. So Wendy's is 2, Burger King is 3, Sonic is 4, Jack in the Box is 5. I think Whataburger is, which I don't think we have those out here. I've never had it. Culver's,
Horrible.
which we have in the Midwest, and they have them, I think, as far out as Arizona. Culver's is actually pretty good. Then Five Guys, Hardee's, aka, well, never mind, Hardee's, and then Carl's Jr. is number 10, even though they're the same place. In-N-Out comes in at 11th.
Okay.
In-N-Out's 11.
So get your free 6-piece nugget on the Wendy's app on Wednesdays
There you go.
in 6 days.
Another story from Wendy's, John.
Oh, wow.
It's like the Wendy's back page.
It's a busy week for
Mhm.
Wendy's.
It is a massive week for Wendy's. And when I say massive, it has to do with this story because they are now going to be offering a new menu item on their menu.
Which is?
They are adding the mammoth 50-piece chicken nugget party pack.
How much did that run?
Yes, how much?
$24.99.
How many nuggets do you get?
50.
Let's see. McDonald's has been doing a 40 since the pandemic, and that's about 16. So you get 50. I'd say $20.
$20. I said 25. $21.99.
$15.
15?
Dude, I'm there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
$15 for a 50-piece chicken nugget meal.
Party pack.
And that started today.
Party for one.
Yeah. Wow.
Starting today, customers.
Can you go there Wednesday and get free 50?
Somehow I feel like Rich is sprinting to his closest Wendy's right now.
Exactly.
Customers can get the Nugs party pack in spicy or regular nationwide, and the goodies will continue to roll out to more Wendy's restaurants in the United States.
Does anybody go to Wendy's and not get the spicy nugs?
No,
Come
just
on.
the regular.
It's
Nobody gets the regular. They took the spicy nugs off the menu for a little bit, and then like Rihanna and like some other famous people bitched about it on Twitter, and then they brought them back.
Right. Okay.
So if you want to find out where you can get a 50-piece nugget at Wendy's, because it's not available in all stores
I
nationwide.
check the app.
You can go to Wendy's Nug 2Gs party.com. It's an interactive real-time chicken nugget locator to show the closest participating Wendy's selling the Nugs party pack.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you're not going to just walk in there and get 50 nugs in like 2 minutes. That's going
The
to
website
take a little bit
cannot
to
be
cook 'em.
reached.
Because it probably, did you spell it right? Probably not.
Probably not.
Here, spell it. Here, hold on.
No, it's fine.
You don't care?
I care.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm going. Wait, I'm clicking on the hyperlink. I'm there.
Okay, you're there.
Okay, so this is available in Southern California. I'm zooming in. Oh,
Which
a lot of
Wendy's?
locations.
a lot of them LA and San Diego. No, you got to go all the way to Chula, 1497 Piper Ranch Road.
That's right near my house.
Is it? Get over there tonight, dude.
That's
Honestly, that's the
Alcohol
only one.
Boulevard?
area is right by my house.
That's the only one in San Diego County. I'm serious.
If we weren't on remote tomorrow, I'd pick up a 50-piece chicken nug for the whole show.
That would be great for me.
Oh, that's right.
You can eat the breading.
True.
I'll have like 8, and then Brent can take the rest.
Brent's not gonna be right if we weren't on remote.
But we're on
Gotcha.
remote.
Okay.
We're on remote tomorrow. And finally, John, an eBay seller has listed 59 random tickets from the 1979 Padres season.
Yeah, I think I know who that person is actually.
Who is it?
A buddy of mine.
Are you serious?
I am. Why?
Because this was Darren Rovell tweeted this out today. He said, nothing remarkable. A couple Ozzie Smith and Dave Winfield highlights. The best seller was surprised with the winning bid of $1,529. Why? It included June 29th's game, the San Diego Chickens grand hatching.
Wow.
A very, very rare ticket to get.
Wow. No, I don't think it's a buddy of mine, but I have a buddy that does that on eBay.
So yeah, they're just like ticket stubs,
Wow.
and they're not like graded or anything.
Just ticket subs.
Just
and they're
ticket
selling
stubs.
for real money.
Padres ticket subs from the 1979 Padres season. And
That's why I keep stubs.
if you had the June 29th ticket stub from the grand hatching of the San Diego Chicken, sold for $1,500.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That was a very good back page. Can you top it tomorrow?
Probably not.
Yeah, I agree. All right, tomorrow, Naughty Barrel downtown. We're getting you ready for Padres and Dodgers. We have ticket giveaways throughout for Wonderfront this weekend on the Harbor. So join us in person tomorrow beginning at noon with the Darren Smith Show, 3 p.m. Jon and Jim. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, or TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. Please listen. No, please leave a review or listen, whatever. Do it all. You can also find us on social media at Jon and Jim, JON, and for Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it right here. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. This is San Diego Sports 760. Bye-bye.